Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of From the Bench to the Mic. I'm your host, Jonathan Holmes. This is episode number 17, baby. Number 17 of Lord knows how many. We're just going to continue to go until the wheels fall off. Talking college hoops again today. I've been just thinking about this show and the direction I kind of want it to go. And, I would love to start bringing on guests. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me just talk one-on-one. I want to bring on some of my friends that have played college sports, college basketball, college gymnastics, college football, college baseball, things like that, and be able to share their stories and be able to show the resiliency and what they've learned from playing college ball, the work that required to get there, so y'all could take that information for yourself, apply it to your day-to-day lives, and just better yourself going into 2026. And because everybody's always looking to get better, right? And I'm always looking to all of my buddies, I know they are, and wanting to start 2026 off strong and just continue to make this the best year of our lives. We had a lot of great games last night. Michigan versus USC. Michigan is a complete wagon. Michigan State, Nebraska. Got to tune into some Big Ten basketball. Always a lot of fun this time of year, especially when you get top 15 matchups. Gonzaga with a scare against Seattle. That's back-to-back for them in the WCC. And then Stanford pulling up a huge ACC upset against Louisville. We'll dive into each one of those, and then we're going to talk through a couple of the topics. Baylor signing James Ncaa, just an incredible pickup for him, and just where NCAA is at with signing these guys mid-season and bringing them in. How does that look for the rest of college basketball? How does that look going forward? I want to talk through that with y'all. And then, looking forward to some conference play starting today. It's Saturday, January 3rd, beginning of 2026. Happy New Year to everybody. Without further ado, baby, let's roll. All right, man, to start things off, Michigan, USC. First game I got to tune into last night. Michigan is a wagon. Absolute wagon. They got no holes, man. Dusty May completely smashed it in the transfer portal. 96-66 W against a top 25 opponent in USC. I didn't think that they were a top 25 team, but they had them at 24 for some reason. They're 12-2. Now they're 1-2 in the Big Ten. They'll more than likely fallen out of the top 25. They're hurt right now, but I think even at full strength, that's not making them 30 points better than what they showed last night. Michigan is just that good, though. 13-0, 3-0 in the Big Ten. Their last 10 or 11 games, I believe, won by an average of 30-plus points or more, just rolling through the competition. And they're not playing scrubs either. They're playing against good, solid teams. Even the mid-majors that they're going against, McNeese State, very, very solid. I mean, USC's the top 25 team. They're killing everybody by 30-plus a game. This is something that's just never been heard of. I mean, Morez Johnson, Yaxel Landenberg, Ade Mara, Elliot Cadeau, the list goes on. And it's one of those things where when coaches are trying to game plan for these guys, like, where do you start? And it's pick your poison kind of. It's a pick your poison kind of team where you want to stop their big guys. Their guards can beat you. Nimari Burnett, Elliot Cadeau, even guys coming off the bench like Roddy Gale, Trey McKinney. They got dudes everywhere. I mean, their bench could be a starting five on a Power 4 school. Will Shedder. That dude was a huge piece from last year, and now he's playing 15, 20 minutes a game. So, Michigan, I didn't put him in my Final Four because outside of, I think, maybe last year, normally the team that just rolls through the regular season doesn't normally win the national championship. You always have a quote, surpriser. I didn't put him in my Final Four because I think they're bound to slip up at some point. But it's very, very hard not to. It was very hard not to pick them to make the Final Four and win the national championship. Because again, no holes. You want to slow their guards down. Their bigs are phenomenal at passing to one another, finishing at the rim, finishing very, very strong. They can step out and space the floor. They're great at free throws. It's tough. Morris Johnson was 10 of 12 from the field. He had 29, career high. 8 of 10 from the free throw line, 6 boards. He's my favorite player on this Michigan team. And I'm going to be honest, I'm so biased because he's an Illinois kid from Chicago, played at U of I last year. Really wish that Illinois could have kept him around. Sorry for the green. I've got Premier League going, watching some soccer this morning, trying to get into it. But Morris Johnson is my favorite player on this team because he's the glue guy. He's the guy that gets after you defensively. He does not care how many points he scores. He just wants to do what's best for the team. So Michigan just is rolling. I expect them to continue to roll. I think that they're going to be undefeated going into the Michigan State game. Their schedule totally favors them. I think they're favored in every single game for the rest of the year, which isn't surprising based on just how loaded their roster is. But you got Penn State, Wisconsin, Washington, Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, and then that Nebraska game would be fun. But it's at home. 127, I would circle back-to-back games, 127 and 130. They got at home against Nebraska and on the road against Michigan State. Those 2 games, they could definitely slip up, especially with how Nebraska loves to shoot the 3 ball and how they get after you defensively. I think that, if Nebraska gets hot, that could be a slippery one for the Wolverines, especially looking forward to that Michigan State game and if they're undefeated. So Michigan's just loaded. It's hard to not pick them. They are covering the spread. They were a 21-point favorite against a top 25 team. Unheard of, and they just completely steamrolled. So Michigan just dominant. USC, they're hurt, banged up right now. They'll get Elijah Arenas back probably mid this month, maybe beginning of September. He's a 5-star recruit, top 10 in his class. Chad Baker-Mazara is a hooper. Even though he is a complete flop show, he's a hooper. He can get after you, and he can go for 30 whenever he wants to. You lose Roddy Rice for remaining of the season. That's a huge bummer. But USC, they'll be competitive. I don't expect them to do anything shocking, nor do I expect them to really stay in the top 25. I'm just not on the must train. I never have been, never will be. So give me Michigan to be undefeated going up into that Michigan State game. So next game I got to tune into was Nebraska versus Michigan State at Lincoln, Nebraska. Packed house, so fun. But one quick message from our sponsor. All right, that last segment was brought to you by Reed Cuts. Reed Cuts, man, he gets you right. I've got a hat on right now, but it's just early in the morning. We got a nice little fade. I got a little bedhead going, but he got me right. Reed Cuts, Columbia, Illinois, dude. He does a great job. $25 a pop. Again, I don't have a promo code going for him right now, but we'll get that sorted for everybody. Get you guys a little discount. Does a great job, man. Pays really attention to detail. Takes his time. Great dude. Can talk ball. Can talk life. It's always good catching up with him and supporting the local businesses and the local startups back home in Columbia. So appreciate him and everything he does. At Reed Cuts, I'll put his username right here. Follow him on Instagram. Shoot him a DM. Get him a text if you got his number. He'll get you going, get you right. So appreciate you, brother. Now let's talk Nebraska versus Michigan State. All right, Nebraska versus Michigan State, man. This game, second game of the night. I was all Big Ten last night. Typically Fridays and Sundays are typically your Big Ten matchups. But top 15 in Lincoln, packed house for Big Red. A phenomenal defensive battle. Teams didn't shoot the ball crazy great, but this was just such a fun game to tune into. The passion of college basketball is back in Nebraska. Fred Hoiberg has these dudes playing with just a ton of passion, a ton of heart. They really get after you defensively. They love to shoot the 3 ball, which I'm all for. they've got some just straight dogs. No huge big time names or guys that are gonna probably end up winning Big Ten Player of the Year. That's probably locked up by Yaxel Vandenborg. Even though I picked Donovan Dent from UCLA, waiting for him to really turn around and get rolling. But anyways, Fred Hoiberg has these guys playing great team basketball. Rank Mast is awesome. Dude is an international guy, came over from, I believe Sweden. I could be wrong there. But international dude, he had 19, he had 15 in the first half, hitting 5 threes. He was 6 of 13 from the three-point line, 7 boards. Got into a little bit of foul trouble. I don't want to say foul trouble, but he got into some, because he had 3 early in the first half. Or I'm sorry, early in the second half, so he didn't play decent amount in that first half of the second half, if that makes sense to you guys. But nonetheless, dude's a baller. Loves to get after you on defense too, which is I think the biggest thing is Fred Hoiberg's team. They hang their hat on the defensive end. Offensively, it's gonna come and go, but defense is gonna be something that happens every night. So, it was great seeing that. Price Sanford with 13, he had 3 threes. Jamarcus Lawrence with 12 tacked on there. Sam Hoiberg, I know he didn't fill it up from a scoring perspective. He only had 4 points, 1 of 5 from the field. He had 4 rebounds, 5 assists. And that's coming from the smallest dude that was on the floor. I love seeing just scrappy guards really just get after it. For Sam Hoiberg is an awesome point guard in the Big Ten. Really was able to solidify his name with those top point guards in the league. Even though he's not much of a scorer, he loves to get after you defensively, and he loves to get after you. He loves to just make the right plays for his team and be able to create shots for others. Saw that on display last night. Dude is like a mighty, just Minnie Mouse, mighty dude. Love watching him play. And this Nebraska team's fun. They play, especially at home. They just play with so much passion. Their home crowd was rocking, man. They were rocking. I don't think it's ever probably been that crowded before for a Nebraska basketball game. But getting a dub against a top 10 opponent, they're just going to continue to come back, man. They're 14-0, got 3-0 in the Big Ten. They've had 2 top 15 wins, beating Illinois on the road and then taking down Michigan State at home. This Nebraska team they're here and they're here to stay. I tweeted about it. They're here. They're ready to rock, ready to party. And Fred Hoiberg has these guys believing that they can do it. And it's just another step in the right direction for the Cornhuskers. Michigan State, on the other hand, they had every chance to win this game. Jackson Kohler with 19. Jeremy Fears had 14. He was 10 of 10 from the free throw line. Jeremy Fears catches a lot of heat. I love Jeremy Fears. I think the dude he's a warrior out there. No moment's too big for him. He did unfortunately dribble the ball off his foot when they needed a basket the most. But he had 7 dimes, 3 turnovers, which is isn't terrible. He just can't shoot the 3. It's the only thing. He hasn't been able to shoot the 3 ball all year. 0 for 4 last night. That's the only thing that's really missing in his game. He's elite at getting downhill, creating shots for other people. I think he's a very, very solid defender. But yeah, he 10 of 10. He lives at the free throw line. That's where he gets his points. But he impressed me all the way up until the very end. Jackson Kohler battling it with Rank Mass. That was a great one to watch. But Michigan State had every opportunity to win this one. Nebraska ended up getting a technical foul after hitting a huge 3, going up what I believe was 9 points. Led to be their biggest lead in the game. Had a technical foul. Jeremy Fears knocks down a couple free throws. He gets to the line again, knocks down some more free throws. They start to get a little bit more momentum. Ended up taking the lead, getting up by about 4. And then Nebraska just came storming back and ended up, of course, getting the W last night. So I was very impressed with Cam Ward. He had 2 huge blocks that didn't get a ton of recognition on the broadcast. 2 huge blocks. Didn't put any points on the board, but defensively, Cam Ward's another awesome freshman in this already loaded freshman class. But Nebraska, just an awesome win. Love seeing that. You guys should be in the top 10, I would imagine, when the new AP poll comes out on Monday. So, yeah, we'll keep following Big Red, man. It's cool to see the passion of Nebraska flowing into college basketball. So, without further ado, man, let's talk through Gonzaga. Gonzaga, another scary one, dude. Another scary one for Gonzaga coming up here. That last segment was brought to you by 57 Cards, 57 Sports Cards, man. My buddy Augie, really good buddy from back home. Dude is a rock star. If you got anything from a trading card perspective, mostly sports, give him a follow on Instagram. I'll drop his username right here for you. Again, a very, very solid dude. One of my best friends from growing up. He's got a great sports cards collection. I'm sure he's willing to trade. He's willing to sell. I would imagine he'd be willing to buy as well. If you got something that you're looking to move. He's got a great NBA collection. Huge LeBron fan. Shout out to the Lakers. He's awesome. He's very, very negotiable. Not going to rip you off. So go check out his store. Check him out on Whatnot. He's got a lot of great stuff coming up, and he's already done a lot of great stuff for some people. So 57 Sports Cards, Augie, shout out to you, brother. Love you, kid. And yeah, go give him a follow for all your sports cards needs. All right, Gonzaga. Woo, man. Tight one against Seattle U in the WCC. It was back-to-back games for the Bulldogs that haven't looked great. They just San Diego U took them down to the wire a few nights ago. Gonzaga winning that one 99-93. Gonzaga now went to OT with Seattle U, 80-72, got the W. They were down 8 at halftime. Mark Few, I'm sure yes, you want to get W's, but I know this is a frustrating one because Seattle should not be competing with Gonzaga, especially with the caliber that the Bulldogs do have and the competition that they've already played and already beat. They shouldn't be messing around with these games. Now I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I don't know what the deal was. Braden Huff had 28. I just want to check into the stats here. 33% from the free. Yeah. Seattle made 12 threes. Can't really have that happen. It's hard to lose a game and make 12 threes too. So I know Gonzaga, of course, I'm sure they just started to impose their will late in the second half and were able to go on a little bit of a run to close that gap. They were 4 of 15 from the field. Offensive rebounds, let's see. Only 8 offensive boards. 18 free throws. Yeah, you make 10 more free throws than Seattle, so there it is right there. But Braden Huff with 28. Graham Ncaa came off the bench for some reason. I don't know what's going on there, but he came off the bench. He had 24 and 10. Tyan Grant Foster with 19. You got nothing else from the rest of your team. 0, 0, 0, 7, 0, 2. And this is where I've talked about this. Gonzaga's guards have got to show up. You cannot just rely on Braden Huff and Graham Ncaa. I picked them to be in my Final Four because I thought their guards could just play good enough basketball and score enough points to be respectable. You got to have good guards in March to win. And if they're gonna put on performances like this, where you combine for, let's see, starters outside of Braden Huff combined for 7 points. Tyan Grant Foster had 19 off the bench. Yeah, your guards outside of Tyan Grant Foster combined for 9 points. Problem. Big problem. Braden Huff and Ncaa are going to be a double-double night in, night out, but your guards have got to play. So you got to show up and be somewhat decent. And they weren't last night, and that's where Seattle can take them down to the wire and almost sneak out a W. So I think Mark Few will get them figured out here. You need to go through some valleys to get to the peaks, and he'll get them rolling again. It's just a matter of time. Gonzaga is a very, very solid program. I think they're just hitting a little bit of a rut right now. So WCC play, they should be just fine. Now, going from WCC to the ACC, Stanford pulling up a huge upset against Louisville at home. I don't believe Mikael Brown played in this game. I checked the box score. He did not. He's dealing with a lower back issue, and they're clearly hurting without him. He still scored 76, which was solid. Isaac McNeely with 17. Ryan Conwell with 18. But Stanford just scored 40 points against Notre Dame. Notre Dame had just lost to Purdue Fort Wayne. I'm sorry. Just lost to Purdue Fort Wayne. If you're Louisville and you want to be in that top tier of the ACC and be an Elite Eight team, you cannot be losing these ball games. Stanford's 12-3, which isn't terrible. I think their best win right now, well, of course it's Louisville, but before this, their best win was against SLU. SLU's very, very solid. Very, very underrated mid-major. Watch out for the Billikens. They're great. Off to their best start in program history. But Louisville, I was disappointed. I thought Pat Kelsey would have these guys up and ready to play. You're going up against a new ACC opponent, traveling to Cali to go play. I thought that they'd be up and ready to rock. Ebuka Okori, another phenomenal freshman that gets kind of swept under the rug because Stanford just hasn't been a premier program in quite some time. He had 28. He was 9 of 18 from the field. Had a lot of great stuff going for him. So he might be another name in the ACC Freshman of the Year conversation if he can continue this scoring up. He can score at all three levels. He can do pretty much everything. He had a couple threes, was able to get to the rack, shot the free throws really, really well, 8 of 10 from the line. But this is a great win for Stanford. Is Stanford maybe coming alive? I don't know. Again, you have to go through the valleys to get to the peaks, man. And they had a huge valley against Notre Dame the other night. This is a huge peak. So, you're just making huge waves, huge wavelengths here. I don't know. Is Stanford maybe for real? We'll see. Again, the ACC is just such a weird conference. Even in football this year, of course, you had Duke, who was 7-5, won the entire thing. It's always a weird conference. And this is just another one of those situations where the ACC is just going to ACC. So I don't know if Stanford's for real or not. I don't think they are. I think Louisville just had a mishap here. Pat Kelsey, I'm a huge believer in him. I love him to death. I think he's gonna get these guys rolling, get these to shake back. And this might be something good for Louisville. Get a bad loss early and propel yourself through the rest of the conference season. Because ACC, you can't take nights off. Unfortunately, can't take nights off. But yes. Now, Baylor makes a huge sign for an NBA prospect, or an NBA draftee. Let's talk through that now. All right. Baylor signs an NBA draftee. James Ncaa, 31st pick in the 2023 NBA draft, has enrolled now at Baylor University to join the Bears and Scott Drew mid-season to help make them a Big 12 run. Now, people have asked me my opinion on this. All right, what do you think? What do you think of NBA draftees getting brought back into college? What are your thoughts? I'm all for the NIL and kids being able to get the opportunity to play in college. It was one of the best. It was the best 3 seasons of my entire life. Had a blast doing it. Made a ton of connections, ton of great experiences from it. I would highly recommend all these high schoolers to be going through the college route. So fun. But if you've signed a professional contract to go play, then I think that should just take your eligibility away. Now, I think that there's an exception to the rule. If you get drafted but you never sign an NBA contract, I think that's totally fair to be brought back and play, brought back and play college hoops. Now, because I think it's great for the sport. You get to see all these tremendous athletes get to show off their capabilities and their talents. But joining mid-season is where I've kind of got a problem with it. And it seems like the NCAA just doesn't have any rules right now. They came out and said, well, if you've signed a professional, if you signed an NBA contract, you're ineligible. Yes, but it's typically if you've signed an NBA contract, you're making enough money to where you don't really want to come back or need to come back to play college. But with all the NIL money that's out there, if you're a guy that hasn't signed a deal yet and you're making 20, 30, 40, 50 grand or whatever, yeah, sure, go back and get your NIL, man. These schools are paying out the wazoo for talent. Go get your bread, man. I'm all for that. I'm all for NIL, and I wish that they would have had it when I was around, when I was playing back in the day. I would have eaten that up. But yeah, if you signed a professional contract, man, you shouldn't be eligible to play in the NCAA. Okay, I mean, it's as long as they're continuing to call it an amateur sport, and with no contracts or anything like that, I think that's totally viable in my opinion. Now for the international prospects, I think the same dealio. If you've signed a professional contract to play professional hoops, should make you ineligible to play. Go to the NBA. You can go to the NBA, man. It's fine. NBA is always looking for international talent, man. If you think you're that good and you're that good, man, go for it. It's the NCAA just needs to start laying out some ground rules. Get a commissioner. I think get the commissioner of the NCAA, have him talk about whatever he or she, whoever it is, just lay out ground rules. I think that's the biggest thing. There's no ground rules right now. It's a free for all. Nobody really knows what's going on. The coaches, the players, the fans. If you're not following it on a daily basis, you don't have any idea what's happening. But I'm fine with Baylor bringing in a guy that's never signed an NBA contract. I'm fine with that. Just don't bring him in mid-season is where I'm a little confused. I'm like, okay, how can you just do that? Because what's stopping anybody from going and getting international guys? Illinois is doing it right now and then bringing them in mid-season and having a whole new team. If your team, if your season's kind of gone just discombobulated. What's stopping you from just flipping it around and saying, you know what, we had conference play coming up. I'm just going to turn my whole team around and flip my roster. Have everybody enter the portal, blah, blah, blah. I think that's where there's a problem. And that's a huge thing too, is just switching the transfer portal window. It's not in a good spot, especially in college football. They're trying to go around the academic year when we all know it's not. It's the academics is just out the window with these athletes. So I think I'm cool with this. I think it's fine. I just don't think bringing him in mid-season is the direction I would like to see the NBA or the NCAA going. But give the kid a chance, man. Give him to come out and play. He's still, I think he's only like 18, 19 years old. Or he's like 19 years old, I believe. Yeah, I'm cool with it. But Baylor, I'm curious to see how it pans out. Joining a team mid-season like that's tough. I'm curious to see if this ends up helping Baylor out or if it makes them worse. So they're trying. I don't want them to try and. Well, I don't know. We'll see if they try to just force him in and get him to play, or how well he's able to fit the system. I think that's going to be curious. I'm curious to see how that ends up panning out. Because if it ends up working well, we may see this a lot more from college teams. But yeah, it's an interesting time in college hoops, man, and college sports in general, with just how there's no rules and people are just they're just figuring out ways to better innovate the game and get more talent, and it's continue to bring in more money, things of that nature. So it's cool, it's fun, I like it. I think it's a lot of fun to watch as a consumer and as a college basketball junkie. I love watching it, and it brings good storylines, and people are talking about it. So it's cool, and let's just set some ground rules, NCAA. That's it. Let's just set some ground rules. Would love to see that from you. But all right. Hey, that concludes episode 17. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Give me a like. I'm working on getting on Apple and Spotify. Hopefully that's going to be soon. Give me a follow on Instagram, follow on Twitter, all that good stuff. I really appreciate all the support. We may have some merch coming soon. Let's keep an eye out for that. Want to do a giveaway when I get to 100 followers on Instagram. And then when I get to 50 subscribers here on YouTube. So want to be doing a giveaway. I appreciate y'all. Any feedback, let me know. Everybody have an awesome 2026, awesome start to 2026. I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Everybody have a great one. Peace.